I wanted to make sure that no one is misled by this information. First of all, my name is Maurice Scott, Maurice Jefferson Scott, Sr. And if you're gonna do research on a Maurice Scott, make sure that you're researching the right person.
Let's take a step back and really talk about what's been going on between Maurice Scott and Kimmi from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Recently, Maurice has been out here publicly begging Kimmi to give their relationship another shot. But the big question on everyone's mind is he truly sorry? Or is he just trying to clean up his image because he knows he messed up? To get the full picture, we have to rewind a bit and walk through everything that led up to this moment. When Maurice and Kimmi first appeared on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, they were seen as the calm, mature couple in the group. Unlike some of the others on the show, they weren't constantly arguing on camera or throwing each other under the bus. They gave off this vibe like they had it all together. Kimmi came across as strong, collected, and incredibly supportive, while Maurice positioned himself as a hardworking, family-oriented husband chasing success in his law career.
Hit 100, and before you get on social media, TV, YouTube, talking about what you think you know, maybe reach out to the people that you're about to talk about and ask maybe if it's true or not, because it can land you in trouble when you speak of people that's not true.
But over time, the cracks started to show. People began to notice that the relationship felt pretty one-sided. Kimmi was always the one holding it down, managing the home, co-parenting, supporting Maurice's ambitions, and still taking care of her own responsibilities. All while being present for friends and family. Maurice, on the other hand, seemed to live in his own bubble. He was focused on building his career, mentoring his son, and following his own timeline. And while none of that is necessarily wrong, fans pointed out that he rarely seemed to slow down and ask Kimmi how she was doing. Even when she opened up, it felt like she had to justify her emotions just to get a basic level of understanding from him. Things took a serious turn when Kimmi was diagnosed with breast cancer. She shared this with the public, and people really rallied behind her. Her courage during that time made viewers respect her even more. But behind the scenes, fans began to sense something wasn't quite right. While Kimmi was visibly struggling with treatments, fatigue, and the emotional toll of it all, Maurice often appeared disconnected. He wasn't outright mean or cold, but emotionally, he just didn't seem present. It wasn't about physically being in the room. It was about showing up in the ways that really matter emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Instead of offering empathy or comfort, Maurice would try to fix things. And that might work in other situations, but not when someone's going through one of the hardest fights of their life. What Kimmi needed was support, not solutions. Over time, that emotional gap between them widened.
Saying that this is all the reason, but True T has really done an amazing thing for Miss Black Titanic, and I appreciate that. And it's always good to see creators supporting other creators. But child, y'all go over there and listen to this, because this right here is the clown of the year, baby.
She was fighting for her life and somehow, also feeling emotionally abandoned in her marriage. That kind of silence and loneliness can be more painful than any argument. According to sources close to production, Kimmi started to pull away not because she wanted to, but because she was hurting. She reportedly told close friends that being next to Maurice and still feeling invisible made her lonelier than being single ever had. That's a heavy thing to carry. Fans started noticing small but telling signs. Kimmi wasn't wearing her wedding ring in recent pictures. There were no anniversary posts or birthday shoutouts. Meanwhile, Maurice was out here promoting real estate ventures and motivational speaking events, barely mentioning Kimmi or her recovery. That silence felt deafening. People online began asking, is Kimmi going through this alone? Because from the outside looking in, it sure seemed like the woman who had always supported everyone else now had no one showing up for her. And that lack of support? It didn't just disappoint fans, it seemed to break the very core of their relationship. Eventually, Kimmi stopped engaging. She stopped calling, stopped checking in, stopped covering for him emotionally. And that's when Maurice started to spiral.
I'm saying nobody knows what I did when I left, and nobody knows what he did when he left. It's speculation.
Sources say he began calling her constantly, sending long messages, leaving voicemails late at night, even showing up unannounced. It wasn't just "I miss you" energy, it felt desperate. Like he suddenly realized the emotional safety net Kimmi had always provided was gone. One insider even said he started reaching out to mutual friends and family, begging them to ask Kimmi to just talk to him. It got to the point where she had to set boundaries and tell him to stop popping up at her place without warning. Things really exploded when a voicemail allegedly from Maurice surfaced online. It got leaked to a gossip blog and had fans in a frenzy. In the clip, Maurice's voice is shaky and emotional. He's clearly hurt and says things like, "I know I didn't show up the way you needed, but I never stopped loving you. If walking away is what you need to heal, I'll respect it, but please just talk to me one more time." Some fans felt for him. They said it takes a real man to admit when he failed his partner. But others weren't buying it. They called it damage control, pointing out how silent Maurice had been during Kimmi's health crisis. To them, it felt like he only started caring once she walked away. Then came the unexpected Instagram Live. Maurice went live one night, looking visibly shaken. He said it wasn't about the cameras, it was about facing his mistakes. He admitted he didn't always know how to show emotion, and that seeing Kimmi leave made him realize just how much she had been carrying for both of them. He didn't go into full detail about their split, but he said one line that hit fans hard. "I didn't deserve her grace, and I sure didn't earn her silence."
A lot that you guys didn't see. However, in the moment that I acted, I was acting to protect the situation, protect my brother from further harm.
Then he pulled out a handwritten letter that he said he wrote the night Kimmi left. He didn't read all of it, but he shared this part. "I thought being strong meant holding it all together, but maybe real strength is saying I was wrong before you walk out the door." He also revealed he had bought her a new ring not to propose again, but as a symbol of starting fresh, without repeating the same mistakes. And then came the biggest shock. Maurice offered to quit Love and Marriage, Huntsville on the spot. He said if being in the public eye added pressure to their marriage, he'd walk away from the show in a heartbeat. "I'd trade visibility for peace with her in a second," he said. Kimmi didn't respond directly. But a couple days later, she posted an Instagram story, a quiet photo of a cup of tea with the caption, "Peace feels different when you earn it." Not long after that, fans spotted Kimmi and Maurice having lunch together at a small, low-key restaurant in Huntsville. People started hoping maybe there was still a chance for reconciliation. But then a woman named Shayla came forward and flipped everything upside down. Shayla claimed she had been involved with Maurice while his marriage was falling apart. She brought receipts, screenshots, texts, voice notes, all suggesting that Maurice wasn't being completely honest about what was going on behind the scenes. In the texts, he allegedly talked to Shayla about how hard things were at home, how he felt trapped, and how he couldn't be himself around Kimmi. One message read, "I'm stuck between the woman I love and a life I'm not ready to leave behind." And then there was a voice note about 3 minutes long where Maurice is laughing, whispering into the phone, and talking about a trip he took with Shayla. The timeline of that trip matched up suspiciously well with the same week Maurice was posting heartfelt apologies to Kimmi online. Fans were stunned. Had he really been pouring his heart out to Kimmi in public while sneaking around with someone else behind the scenes? Shayla said her goal wasn't to stir up drama, she just wanted to expose what she called the truth behind the performance. According to her, Maurice was pretending to be a heartbroken husband while secretly living a double life. Maurice and his team responded quickly. They released a statement calling Shayla's claims false and accused her of just looking for attention. Maurice himself posted on Instagram, calling the situation unfortunate but insisting he had done nothing wrong. He said he was focused on healing and hoped he and Kimmi could move forward privately. But Shayla didn't stop there. She posted more stories on her socials, photos of her with Maurice, timestamps, and messages that challenged the timeline of his claims. Kimmi, once again, stayed quiet. She didn't defend him, but she didn't publicly accuse him either. Her silence, to many fans, said everything. Insiders close to Kimmi say she's emotionally checked out. That she's no longer trying to fix something that made her feel alone even during the hardest moments of her life. Now the big question is, can a man really change once he's lost the one person who had his back through everything? Or is Maurice just mourning the idea of Kimmi, the image of a loyal wife, now that she's no longer around to pick up the emotional pieces? So now that we've broken it all down, from Maurice's public pleas to Shayla's shocking receipts, the question still stands. Is Maurice truly sorry for how he treated Kimmi? Or is this just a case of too little, too late? Is he fighting for love? Or just trying to save face now that the truth is out? At the end of the day, Kimmi showed up with strength, loyalty, and grace through some of life's hardest moments. And sometimes, people don't realize what they had until it's gone. But when trust is broken and emotional support is missing, it's not always easy or even possible to rebuild. We want to hear from you. Do you think Maurice is genuinely remorseful, or is this all part of a PR cleanup? Is there hope for them to work things out, or has Kimmi finally found the peace she deserves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the latest updates. This story is still unfolding, and something tells me there's more drama just around the corner. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.